All the taxi doors open automatically in Japan. Check it out.
290.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm a rebel just for kicks now.
Sorry to interrupt, but I'm back from Japan now. I basically have been in Japan since the 9th, doing a World Cup again. After that, I took some time off just to see Japan with Carola. I'm going to show some clips of the competition, and then I'm going to also show some clips of Japan in this video, obviously. Back to the video anyway.
I've been feeling it since 1966. Might have had your fill, but feel it still.
We're in Tokyo at the moment, and I want to bring to you guys a really, really short video about 5, maybe 6, I'm not sure yet, things not to do in Tokyo, or just things to know. Watch this before you get to Tokyo. Let's actually start with number 1, is that you should never do this. Golden Temple. Okay, number 1 on the list is chopsticks. You're not allowed to put chopsticks vertical, like stick them into the food. If you stick them into the food and they're vertical, they look like incense at funerals, and it's just like not a really cool thing to do.
Chopsticks upright are a bad omen.
Like, don't do that. Japan's like a crazy, crazy advanced place. There's like bullet trains and, you know, heated toilet seats everywhere, which we'll get onto later. But everywhere doesn't always take card. So it's important to always bring cash with you, because I've been caught out so many times where there's like no cash only. Like the majority of bars, a lot of restaurants and taxi drivers, they're only card. So, I mean, only cash. Also, if you're doing some shopping in Japan, bring your passport on you. I think it's like a legal requirement to bring your passport with you at all times as a foreigner. But you also get a tax refund. So try and find a cash machine, although they are a little bit hard to come by, so just get a lot of it and just bring it.
I gave up counting it. I mean, I had to. It was just so much.
The third thing, litter. Right, these streets are so, like, the first thing I noticed when I went to Japan was like how clean these streets are. Literally, there's not a single piece of litter, a bottle, a cigarette butt, anything anywhere. It's crazy. But here's the trick. There are like no bins. It sounds really counterintuitive. There's no litter, but there are also no bins. You literally need to carry stuff around. Sometimes you walk around like 20 minutes and not find a bin, but just keep carrying that bottle. So this one we weren't actually asked to do that much in Tokyo, but a lot more in Kyoto. So it's actually taking your shoes off when you enter a building or a place. A lot of the bars, like restaurants, small cafe kind of things, they were like, take your shoes off. They have a little place in the entrance, you take your shoes off there, you leave it. Temples, obviously. Some shops. There was a restaurant we kind of stepped up onto the bit just to like kind of undo the shoelaces, and this woman like came out of nowhere and like exploded at us. Don't get shouted at, it's really scary, especially when it's in Japanese. So it's important to wear your best socks at all times. Mine have palm trees on them. Just be prepared to take your shoes off. Another quick tip is adding on to the vertical chopsticks thing is don't rub the chopsticks together. Generally people do it quite a lot, you rub all the splinters off. Don't do that. It apparently insinuates the fact that the chef has bought cheap chopsticks and thus you would need to do that. I mean, most of the places are alright. Some of the places you kind of like, there are splinters on it, but you don't want to be an arsehole, so just be mindful of that. I so nearly dropped that on camera. Okay, 2 extra tips. Business cards. I don't know if you guys are going to go over there for business or someone gives you a business card. Whenever you receive someone's business card, you must do so with 2 hands, as if you're receiving like something that you take with 2 hands. I don't know what we would take with 2 hands. So apparently in Japan, like a business card is like an extension of someone's personality, and I think I'm talking too loud this whole thing. And like just to like grab it and shove it in your pocket is like pretty rude. So 2 hands, inspect it like it's something amazing, and then like put it somewhere on the table and then take it later. I don't know actually. I was not in that position, but if you are, something to think about.
つの戦士よ、行きなさい。
どうも。
Okay, another, I think maybe the last one. Last thing, fun fact, all the toilet seats are heated. That's actually pretty awesome. I kind of was a bit weirded out by it when I first sat on the toilet seat and it was warm. I felt like someone had been in there before me. But actually, like, having sat on like warm toilet seats for the last 2 weeks, it's pretty nice. And now it's pretty horrible sitting on a cold one. But I just want to round off with another little thing that I found traveling around and exploring Tokyo and Kyoto and Japan generally on crutches and with a disability. Whenever I'm queuing up or I'm on public transport, people will offer me seats. Like, the public will just be like, hey, do you want a seat? Do you want to sit down? Like, you're on crutches, whatever it might be. If I'm queuing up for something, sometimes people will be like, hey, do you want to go straight through? Like, you don't have to queue. Obviously, it's difficult for you to stand. You go ahead, you can skip the queue. A lot of places I found do this, especially at airports and things like that. Crutches and airports, so good, so quick. You just cut every queue, it's amazing. Example, when we went to New York, going up the Empire State Building usually takes like, you know, an hour or two, all the queuing and everything. I literally got from the bottom to the top in 15 minutes because I literally skipped every single queue. There's a lovely lady over there, just let me skip the entire queue. And also gave me VIP wristbands so I don't have to wait in line. So many perks of being on crutches. I got a gal who's always late. And in America, they're so good with that. In Japan, they're maybe just not as aware of it as we are in England. I don't know, wherever else you guys are. Let me know if wherever you guys are, that's the thing. I did really notice that we went to a couple of exhibitions and we had to queue up in a line for ages, and people would just say like, you know, by the way, there are stairs up there. And I was like, okay, can we skip the queue please, because my leg's hurting quite a lot. And they were like, no. And I was like, okay, thanks. Public transport as well, again, a little bit less. Some people did give me a seat, but all the times I was kind of left there like standing a bit, like, not that I need a seat, like I'm not like, I know, I'm always like a big advocate of like always the stairs, never the escalator. Although it is sometimes painful for me to stand, so it is nice when people offer me a seat. I did notice it that slightly less people would offer me a seat in Japan. Just something to bear in mind. Maybe you would have to ask for it if that's something you really need. But yeah, I hope this was fun and insightful. I don't usually say that at the end of my videos. I hope you enjoyed it. But, guys, if you want a more up-to-date feed of me and what I'm up to and, you know, basically like a miniaturized version of my YouTube, check out my Instagram. I'm going to put it here because I upload that, you know, once every 2 days, 3 days, and I put stories fairly regularly, so you can keep it's more of an up-to-date feed on me and what I'm doing. But check out my Instagram if that's something you're into. Take care, guys.